Privyet, comrades. Welcome to Atomic Heart, the child of Bioshock and Soviet-era propaganda. You take a propaganda up my nut. The game features some stunning visuals, an absolutely bangin' soundtrack, and fun gameplay. It definitely has its share of issues, but for every problem, the game has more than redeeming assets to match. Spoiler alert if you're here because the ballerina twins have you feeling a certain type of way. Firstly, this is a safe space. You're among friends here. Second of all, you'll be getting what you paid for. So, without further ado, it's time to fulfill your Soviet civic duty and join me as we get deep into Atomic Heart. To start off, we pick our difficulty. Now, normally when I record games, I prefer to play on easy so the gameplay looks better for the video. Also, I'm a bitch, but that's unrelated. But you know, there's something about that Armageddon settings just calling out to me. Opening up the game, we have one of the best looking intros I've seen in a long time. The city looks gorgeous, full of life, with civilians and robots going about their daily lives, along with an amazing parade. The landscape is beautiful. I mean, just look at those mountains. But it could be more beautiful. Think of how many Walmart parking lots we could build here. Sorry, that wasn't very Soviet of me. Moving on. Now, it was pretty obvious from the trailers that everything eventually goes to shit, but it wasn't obvious how sudden it was gonna be. After being rescued from the final swirly by a mysterious babushka, we're thrown underground. Now, you'll notice we're going to be underground a lot in this game. The devs made a beautiful overworld, but they don't like to use it for anything in the main plot. So instead of a beautiful open world, it's more of a highway. And brother, if it's a highway, I'm booze cruising. It's here where the game starts, and we learn one of the most important parts: combat. In this encounter, we learn melee, and how not to get beaten to death in Atomic Heart. First things first, enemies might look slow, but they aren't. If you stand still, you will die. If you move wrong, you will die. If you attempt a stealth kill, you will die. If you play on Armageddon, you will die inside. Oh, fuck! Gee. Oh, shit. I've never been fucking roundhouse kicked out of a dialogue option before. Combat is a dance, and I have one left foot. And that's because the second one was ripped off. The early game combat plays a lot like a Resident Evil game, with very limited ammo and relying pretty heavily on melee damage. Whereas the late game plays more like Doom, where combat is more intense, but you've developed an arsenal of guns and powers. Your enemies may be many, but numbers mean nothing in the face of prime Soviet beefcake. Although you will still need to learn how to properly manage your resources. I nearly died during the last boss fight because I put all of my resources into bullets instead of health kits.
Honestly, it's a pretty, like I said, on easy. It's not that bad of a fight, but I just put it all towards. Okay, that's a fuck ton, dog. That's 30 rounds per. I don't even know if you're gonna have the fucking storage for that.
I mean, you use it or you lose it.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. No, I'll go 3 something is my guess. Holy fuck!
Just over 1,000 rounds of AK ammo. But how do we go from this to this, you might be asking? Upgrades. You get upgrades by spending materials you collect along the way. These can be simple, like upgrading a stock for better accuracy, or more interesting ones, like installing cartridges that let you shoot ice, or turning a machete into a telekinetic weed whacker. We collect these materials from defeated enemies or containers around the map, by using our glove. A glove clearly developed by the Romanians to help them steal faster. But that's not all our glove can do. You can choose 2 special abilities to take with you an upgrade. I personally use Frostbite and Mass Telekinesis. Frostbite so I can freeze enemies in place and get in good damage. And Mass Telekinesis because they can't punch me in the balls when they're suspended in air. There are other abilities you can choose, but I didn't pick them, so they're bad. But on the topic of combat, what's excessive violence without a victim? Most of the enemies in the game are civilian robots. Originally meant for domestic purposes, these robots have gone a little silly. Instead of mowing my lawn, they're mowing down my friends and loved ones. Now, I hear some of you asking, well, Comrade Bird, if these are civilian robots, why does this one have a laser beam for a face? And to that I say, is that independent critical thinking? That's a big no-no, friend. The other type of enemy we have here is the biological enemy types. Biological enemies are basically zombies, but hold on. It's not those lame-ass, bitch-ass virus zombies, alright? We're fucking with plant zombies over here. We got mutants up in this shit. What the fuck? What was that shit? Basically what happens is this mutated plant called a sprout comes out of the wall. The sprout finds a corpse to infect and turns it into the plant zombie. Now, these zombies are a lot weaker than robots, but they're a lot greater in numbers. And there's even a special mini-boss that's resistant to gunfire. So if you've been slacking on your melee, get fucked. Now, getting into the core gameplay, a lot of the times you're going to be finding yourself with the riveting task of trying to unlock a door. Every important event in the game is locked behind a door. These locks are the most convoluted seals known to man. The locks are always in some form of a puzzle. Some of them are very fun and clever, like recreating deaths by using the ballerinas as shadow puppets. Oh, don't get me started on the ballerinas, man. You could not leave me alone in this theater. You could call me William Afton, because I'm about to put a child in that robot. Which part was I on? Oh, the locks. Yeah, the locks. Alright, so the other end of the lock spectrum is where you need to defrost a birch tree by collecting 4 canisters throughout a lavatory and killing the birch tree's evil twin. Then there's also the gameplay outside of the complex. Outside of the complex, all the robots work together like a network. See, inside of the complex, fights happen within the room that you're in. Outside of the complex, however, a surveillance drone notices you, then sends in hostile robots. You successfully kill those hostile robots, only for them to be repaired by seemingly endless repair drones. So, with this in mind, there are 2 optimal strategies. The first one is stealth. If you're never detected, you never have to deal with any of that shit. Now, I will not be choosing that. I'm about as stealthy as a plane crash. The second, and much better option, is to ignore all the robots trying to kill you, get into a car, and slam on the gas. And if only there was a way to make this more fun. When I first started the game, I selected Russian as my language for added immersion, but I eventually switched back to English after a fridge tried to fuck me. That was the point where I realized I was missing a couple details. Now, believe it or not, there is a story to this game, and it's explained at rather than to our brick wall of the protagonist, who, like a good Soviet boy, goes through the entire game showing no signs of suspicion or critical thinking, right up until the very end. And that's kind of the point. The story of the game is a massive power struggle, where you just play a little pawn. You carry out tasks, you don't know why, and you don't really care. Now, when people start to criticize the game, normally what they're criticizing is not the actual game itself, but rather the voice acting. Now, personally, I think the protagonist is actually pretty well voice acted. However, they gave him a catchphrase. A fun drinking game if you're a raging alcoholic with 5 livers is to take a shot anytime you hear the phrase, crispy critters. I actually looked up the origin of the term, and it's one of 2 things. It's either A, an American brand of cereal, or B, a charred corpse. I don't know which is the correct origin of the phrase, I just know I'd like to stop hearing it. But either way, I'm gonna level with you. I'm not here for the story. What I'm really here for, the plot. The story and the gameplay are nice, but let's cut to the chase. I know why you're here. It's why I'm here as well. I'm gonna state this plain and simple, so there's no confusion about what this chapter's about. I wanna fuck the robots. For those of you that saw the Ballerina Twins and were like, hey, I think the developers know what they're doing here. They do. They really, really do. There is dialogue in the game discussing the concept of robot sexuals. It's actually a widespread practice that people in the USSR be spreading robot legs wide. That same in-game dialogue confirms that the 2 Ballerina Twins that serves as the main doctor's bodyguards have those same functionalities in them, and that he himself be doing what I'm trying to be doing. And there can only be one, damn it. There is no army of man on this planet that could keep me away from those ballerinas. I've heard enough about penis length. Today we're looking at durability. I died during the ballerina boss fight because I failed the QuickTime event. And I failed the QuickTime event because I was taking a screenshot. I was taking the screenshot for the thumbnail though. I swear. Please. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Did I lose?
I think he did.
Damn, son, you got distracted, huh? I see.
I totally was not taking a screenshot anyways. Before the game came out, there was rumors about a 6-hour unskippable sex cutscene. I'm going to find it. I'm gonna pour through the files of the game, and then I'm going to pour it into the robot. The fridge Nora that I said tried to fuck me in the earlier part? I'm here for it. No one who's tried has ever survived, but God help me, I will find a way. To help demonstrate to you, the audience that has never played the game, that this is not just me being down bad, which I absolutely am, by the way, but it is also the developers that are down bad. Now, I live streamed the game while I was recording it, and so I have a cutscene here that has some tasteful commentary of me and my buddy Aaron over it, to show you that it is not just me. I'm taking a lot of screenshots right now.
Oh, wow.
These are for personal use. I wanted to make sure the sound of me hitting my screenshot key was audible right then. Bro, I wish she was dragging me like that.
God damn!
Woo!
Thick! Why do the robots have jiggle physics?
You know why they have jiggle physics. Let's not kid ourselves.
Oh, this is such a horny game. I love it.
Bro, I want to put my penis in those. There's another angle we're not seeing that I would like to. That's all I'm saying.
I was about to say, yo, what the fuck is this crop?
Sound. Oh. God damn.
Yeah.
Welcome back. I'm aware that I've probably lost a lot of viewers during that last section. But that's okay. It's better than okay, in fact. Because I know I'm with my people now. I love you. Now that the video is at least 50% me talking about synthetic mommy milkers, as I intended when I first started this project, I feel satisfied.